So we were talking about the pets, right? Like our pets loving us.
Yes.
And like I was reflecting on it this week, and it's also that people, like, we want to love something.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to love a pet than a person because your pets don't talk back. They, they're not vegan or whatever. Maybe some are, but you know what I'm saying. Like you could take your pet to the park or at the beach or this place.
You control the pet.
There is that control, but there is that, like, there's this energy inside of all, or at least for me, I feel like there's this energy in me, and it needs to go somewhere. And like
Right,
I feel
it need to go to hell. That's where it need to go, because it's a false energy. There's a natural energy that comes from God, and only God has love. We don't have any love. So that love that you feel for the pet, that's the same love that men and women feel for each other. That's the same love that you feel about a new car, a new house, or that's the same love that all human beings feel in that fallen state. But it's not real love. You don't love your dog, and your dog don't love you. Really, it's just an emotion that comes out of hell, and it got to go somewhere, so you put it on the dog or on the cat. There were people I saw on a TV show, they were in love with skunks. So these two ladies sitting there being interviewed, and they were just rubbing the skunk. Oh, the skunk love us. and twirling the skunk all around. Look, this skunk is so beautiful. And the skunk just kind of looking and traveling. And they were loving the skunk. And so the person asked, well, how about if the skunk shoot his odor on you? Well, he has done it several times in my eyes. But he loved me. And I love the skunk. And so finally, they did something to the skunks to make sure they can't, I guess they did surgery or something, to make sure that a skunk can't do what a skunk naturally does. A skunk naturally shoot out their order for its protection, given to it by God. But because they had this phony need of love and the phony giving of love, they destroyed the skunk's natural ability to survive in the wild. And they call that love. What do you think about that?
I mean, it sounds really smelly, but I mean, it also makes sense that we as humans, like, we want to attach our emotions to like a physical form, like a person or a pet, so that our energy is like, attached.
That ego love is not free. If you don't give me back ego love, I'm not giving you ego love. And that's what you're doing with the animal, to the point that they want this animal to love them so badly. Just think about it. They destroy the animal's natural thing out of fake love. And now the animals can never live outside again because they can't protect themselves. Their weapon has been taken away from them by ego women who wanted fake love. You gonna love me and you stand. Just think about that though. And people are doing this to animals and calling it love. The animal, when God made the animal, they live on instinct, so they are made to be in the wild. Now, they're made for us to enjoy them, but not to destroy them. They have a jacket that shares winter, spring, summer, and fall. They have things that have been given to them to protect themselves from other animals, from the wild. But in your love, you're destroying them. Anybody disagree? I totally want disagreements if it happened. You disagree?
No, comment.
Oh, okay. Any disagreements? Okay, let me take the disagreement, Frankie, and then I'll come to you. Yes.
Well, like, what if it's that we,
Why can't you just enjoy an animal without destroying the animal?
or
You
like,
know, you can have a drink of Kool-Aid. What is lemonade? Kool-Aid. I know. That was good. I don't have to do anything to it. Go ahead.
or what if it's that we are imperfect and it's like loving,
Speak up a little bit.
like loving in spite of all of that.
What is what now?
Like loving people in spite of the fact that we might destroy them or they might destroy us, and still like forgiving them and loving them in spite of all of that.
You said, what about it?
Or you asked what I think about like like injuring
Human
them.
beings don't have love. Just think about that. We don't even have love. It's impossible to have love. Men and women don't have love. So if this fake stuff that we think we're loving one another with is all screwed up, why we keep calling it love? It's not love. We don't have love. Love only comes from God. It doesn't come from the darkness. And the love of God is His Spirit, His life, His truth, His way is everything. And there's no feeling to it. And so you have an animal, and it'll just be an animal. You enjoy the animal, but you won't love the animal. You won't hate it either. And you'll be able to enjoy the animal without destroying the animal. You'll be able to enjoy one another without destroying one another. Because you have no expectation from anyone. No love expectation, no expectation. And if you have no expectation, no need, how can you hurt someone? You don't need them to be your husband, your wife. You don't need your kids to be your kids. You don't need this or that. How can it hurt you? And how can you hurt it? What do you think about that?
I was just thinking about Jesus like dying on the cross, and that, yeah, just that He forgave everybody that was hurting Him.
Yeah, he just lived his life having nothing against anyone. And no matter who it was, if they needed healing, He didn't judge them. He's like, no, go away. Your sin is worse than this person's sin. He just healed him. Get up and walk. He already knew, and you're going to know this too. That's interesting. He knew it wasn't, the healing that they needed was from the devil, away from the devil, because the devil afflicted their bodies and everything. And when you take that spirit away, healing is possible. So He knew it was the devil in them, as you would know at waking up, that it was the devil in me had me doing all those things, and think that way. And you're going to see it's other people too, that devil in others, and you won't judge them. Isn't that amazing? You can live peace right here on earth. You don't have to wait to die. What do you think about that? So your love for the cat ain't real love. And when you overcome it, just watch it. When you walk in the house and the dog runs to the door, oh, glad to see you. Just know this dog don't really love me. This dog just is trained this way. This dog is hungry. This dog probably need to go to the bathroom. This dog is just acting out. And don't feel like, oh, come on, doggy, I love you too. You acting like the dogs. Because you're in a fallen state, your love is animal love. It's an animal state. It's not love at all. When the young man complained about his son, oh, I can't believe my son, is he going to wait until after my birthday to forgive me? Is he going to wait until this time to love me? That's animal love. That doesn't even make sense. You don't need your son love. You need God's love from above, from within. But that makes sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying don't have a pet, but the pet don't have love. Your wife don't have love. Your husband don't have love. That's why you fight. If you had love, you would never fight. So have a pet, but don't love the pet. Don't hate the pet. That makes sense?